Alright, here's a nighttime view. It is a full moon right now, but this is a nighttime view of what it's like with a shop light inside. So, still fairly stealthy. I mean, if I were to hang a dark side, kicking over stuff. If I were to hide or hang a dark curtain on the inside, I also can see a couple of spots. You can't see me pointing, can you? Kinda. A couple of spots there and there that I need to do a little more caulking because, well, if you can see light through it, the no-see-ums can get in. Now, the door is not fully closed because there's a power cord in it, but, and watch your eyes, there's a shop light, 1,000-watt, like, little shop light lighting everything up. So, that's a light that's inside, 1,000 watts, halogen, and from the outside, not too bad. You cannot see what's going on inside either. So, that's working pretty good. And if you look at the top vents, you really can't see much light at all coming out of them. You can see the shadow from my neighbor's lights. Because, well, since my motorcycle got stolen from here, all the neighbors got lights. So, there we go. A little update. It's, what the hell is it? May 20th. So, that's that. And, there's my next source of income. My buddy Koda's bike that has been sitting for like 4 years in the Arizona desert. I get to basically get that running good for him, and I get to paint it. And I'm really excited because the theme that he's chosen is Captain America. Now, I'm not a huge Captain fan personally. I'm more of like a Dark Knight, Deadpool kind of guy. But I think the Captain's fairly cool. We're going to paint it blue, put the shield on the tank, try to put the wings on the front fender and maybe on the tail. The star and wings emblem. And it's going to be like USA blue. And it's going to have some red highlights and a couple of white highlights. So, really looking forward to this one. I did his future wife's bike to get married in July. I did her bike, and it is 99% done. I started it before the stroke. Then I put it all together last month. I put it all back together. I thought I was done. But apparently, I did an old friend Ryan's Nighthawk, and I did his carbs. I rebuilt his carbs. I thought I had rebuilt Miss Morgan's carbs. I was mistaken. So I bolted it all back together. I put the tank on it. I turned the fuel on. I started the bike, and it ran great. And then it started pissing fuel everywhere because it really needed a carb rebuild kit. So it was leaking everywhere. The carbs were working, but they were leaking. Not very good for getting very far. You're losing as much gas as you're using. Plus, no smoking near the bike. So I ordered a carb rebuild kit, and right now her carbs are soaking down in some carb cleaner and everything. And I will be reassembling those either late tonight or tomorrow. And hopefully I'll have her bike before I have Coda's bike. Her bike has been one of those. It's at a decade, and then it got put back together enough to run for a little bit, and it did, and then the wind snatched its cover and knocked it over, bent the handlebars and a bunch of stuff, and then it sat again. So when I got to it, it had multi-year neglect. They're both awesome people, but neither one of them are mechanics. So they took it to a mechanic who tried to rob them. Did a bunch of crap. Apparently it went through the carbs, but when I got into the carbs, finally, I thought I had, but then I had a stroke, and I have short-term memory loss issues. So I was remembering the other set of carbs that I did, like, shortly before I got their bike. I got their bike right before Sturgis, and I did the other Nighthawk, like, a month before Sturgis. So, like, literally, they were so close together, I thought I had done the carbs, and I didn't. There's a lot of little weird things like that since the stroke that, like, I even forgot a friend, pretty much forgot somebody that I had met, hung out with, even have pictures of me hanging out with them and everything, which is cool, but they were within a window of which things are shaky in my memory, so I literally did not remember them, and I felt bad for them. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about it. It's brain damage. Some things just aren't there anymore. Weird things that are way back. Like, I can remember stuff from college. I can remember stuff from high school. I can remember some things from grade school even. I can remember, the joys of raising my son. Being, quote unquote, happily married. Wife, kid, dog, house in the woods. It was nice. I can remember that. But then again, I don't really remember what I ate last night. I have to ask my girl that. What did we eat last night? Short-term memory stuff. It's sketchy. But anyway, I'm gonna try not to make this a rambling one. This is only 8.5 minutes, so that's my update for the 20th. Now that there's less light, check it out. You can kind of see. I've been thinking about making a couple of little square curtains, like little curtains that hang down in a square where those holes are, to kind of mask some of the light. I don't know yet if I'm gonna do that. It's not like this thing is stealthy. It's not like people don't look at it and go, "Oh, that's a camper behind a fucking motorcycle." It's not like I'm hiding anywhere. It's not like a stealth van or something where I'm like being all incognito in a Walmart parking lot. Like, I'm probably going to use some Walmart parking lots, but I plan on spending more time in truck stops, honestly. I have found that pulling the camper behind the motorcycle, I pull up to a truck stop, and I go in and I talk to the managers, and I'm like, "Hey, I know I'm not a big rig, but I've got a motorcycle and a camper. Can I pull between a couple of big rigs? Is there a spot that I can take without taking anybody off?" And they usually, "Hey, yeah, go park in those lots over there or those lots over there. And yeah, you're cool. Like, no issues." I've always, and then, like, there's no better neighbors usually than trucks. Yeah, they're running their motors and running their generators and they're making some noise, sure, but nobody's gonna screw with you when you're parked between a couple of big rigs. You know, like the camaraderie that I usually feel when I pull my crazy setup into a truck stop is pretty awesome. Because any trucks that I have passed along the way, or have passed me, depending on who's going faster, but anybody that's seen me on the road that's a professional driver, usually the moment they see me in the truck stop, they're like, "Hey, weren't you going down highway blah blah blah? Like, that's a cool setup. Like, doesn't that kick like a mule in the wind?" And like, it's kind of cool. But yeah, I'm pretty happy and proud of this thing right now, and I'm really looking forward to getting on the road with it. I'm really looking forward to actually testing this one in the wind. I joined a Facebook group of pop-up camper pullers, and oh man, the amount of negative Nancy's that were in that group. They were like, "Oh, don't do that, you're gonna die. Oh my god, you're gonna fucking die. You're stupid," and blah blah blah. It was so funny and so ridiculous that I was just like, really? I'm like, I know, like, I know all of you probably get, from various people that you're gonna die because you ride a motorcycle, just because you have two wheels. And all of you pull a camper, in theory, if you're in the group. The group is for people that pull pop-up campers or micro campers behind motorcycles. Well, this is a micro camper. The base of this thing is literally a 4x8 sheet of plywood. Like, that corner right there, that corner that's got the spray cans on it, is the end of the 4x8. And that corner right there, that corner to the back, is 6 foot. So I have like the nose part, which is only 2 foot, that comes to a point where I'm going to be able to store a book bag with some travel needs, and maybe put a pole across there and hang some shirts or something, or maybe even put my mini fridge in the corner, if I get the solar setup that I need to get, because I need a mini fridge for my insulin. My blood sugar being unkept and my blood pressure being unkept is the reason that I no longer have a right carotid artery, which is the reason I had a stroke, which is the reason I almost died on Halloween, which is the reason I built this whole crazy thing, so now I can go see my son and see my father and see all my chosen family that I left behind. When I came out to Colorado, I was planning on coming here for 2 months, working the Colorado Fair, then going and working the Michigan Fair, and then, basically following the circuit back around until I was back in North Carolina. And then I was going to deal with my house that got blown up. That's a whole different story. But yes, my house got blown up. That's why I came out to Colorado, because somebody actually said, "What are you going to go camp behind your blown up house and be all depressed in a tent? Or are you going to go make some money and work the Colorado Renaissance Festival with us and enjoy Colorado?" And I used to have a patch on my vest that had all the states that I had been to since my wife and I had separated. At that point, it was like even less than a decade, and I had quite a few states on there. But what I did not have was anything in the Midwest or in Northwest, or in the West, as they call Colorado the West, which is weird to me because I'm literally in the middle of the damn country. It's 1,200 miles to the Gulf. It's 1,800 miles to the East Coast, and it's like 1,300 or 1,400 miles to the West Coast. I mean, I'm pretty close to the middle of the damn country. So I didn't name it. I didn't call it like, but to me, I feel like I'm in pretty close to the middle of the damn country. Um, in fact, if I were to go to like the Kansas Colorado border, like I would be almost dead center between East Coast and West Coast. Um, but what do I know? Um, I'm just a guy that likes to ride and do crazy things, tow crazy things, and this trailer, by the way, is the same trailer that I had the motorcycle chuck on, so I could pick up other motorcycles and rescue people with it. Obviously, until I take this box off, I won't be rescuing anybody. I can take this box off. It comes off with about 12 big ass lag screws that go into the support beams across the bottom. I don't want to take it off anytime soon. So unless it happens to be a failure on the road, if I happen to start to pull it and like all the naysayers said, it becomes a big old kite and snatches me all over the place, and I'm like, well, it's kind of a big wedge, if you can see. It's kind of a big wedge. So the fact that it's a big wedge means it's going to be putting down pressure on the wheels the whole time, because it's a big airfoil, like you'd put on the back of a car, but exaggerated. I don't know what my back porch there is going to do when it comes to the wind. The mathematics on that kind of worry me a little bit. There may end up a negative space here that may try to maybe lift the back a little, maybe cause some swaying. I won't know that until I actually get it on the road and get up to speed. On that forum that I was on, somebody was all like, oh, I want to see video of that thing doing 65 miles down the road. I'm like, well, for one, it's pretty damn near impossible for me to record myself going down the road. For two, I've only gotten it up to 45 miles an hour so far because I've done one little run inside the city. I did one little 10-mile jaunt with it once I got it skinned, before I got any paint on it. There's a couple of pictures of me at the gas station. I literally did a big old loop, went up to the mall, drove through the mall because I had to show off. I wouldn't be me if I didn't show off. Drove through the mall, the South Point Mall, and then came back home down Smoky Hill, and luckily I got stopped at every single light. Normally I'd be bitching about that, but I wanted to know what the stopping and accelerating was going to be like with this thing. And I got stopped at every single light, so I had people taking pictures of me and everything. I'm sure it's on the internet already. But yeah. Shit. Alright, I just rambled an 18-minute in the dark update. I hope you guys enjoy. There's no update on the teeth. I'm sure you guys can all hear that I still don't have my teeth. I'm still got like another 3 weeks before we do the molds of my gums to that they can then build a wax version of my dentures, and then they'll take the wax version and start setting teeth in them and try to work out what my final teeth are going to look like, which will be nicer than I've ever had, because I'm English. Anyone that's known me like since before I started losing my teeth, it is literally my teeth have always been crooked, and anyone that knew me in middle school, which is very few people left that that knew me in middle school. Basically, I wore braces for 3 years. And Dad, if you're watching this, I'd have rather had a fucking car than the braces. Just saying. You might have even saved money. Because ironically, the teeth that fell out first, the 3 teeth that I lost first, were the 3 teeth that were the most crooked before I got my braces. So, maybe it's my own little conspiracy theory, but I feel that the process of them straightening the teeth with braces, like, helped do some of the foundational issues. That wasn't the only reason. Like, I could have taken better care of my teeth. Especially my gums were really sensitive. I did not brush as often as I should because my gums were sensitive, and as they would get infected or inflamed, they would get more sensitive, and I would brush them less. And that's a really bad catch-22. I've had gingivitis on and off my whole life because of that. Plus, when my depression, because of my bipolar, used to get really bad, hygiene went right out the window. Like, I don't bathe, I don't brush my teeth. I pretty much would stay in the fetal position in my bed for days, weeks if I was left alone. Luckily, I've been lucky enough, most of my life, to have people near me until I've gotten to Colorado, to literally have people near me that would see that I had gone dark, gone all quiet and not online, not texting and whatnot, and they would come hunt me out and drag me out of the house. Like, go take a shower, put some clothes on. All right, we're going out to sushi, or we're going to Chinese buffet. We're getting the fuck out of here. You need out of the house. And they would drag me out. I was really, really lucky. Really lucky. Cassie, John, Melissa, Adam, both Adams, Crane and Meyer. Jesus, Daddy John, Mike Kenyon, so many people. I'm missing people. I know I'm missing people, but so many people on the East Coast, the Carolinas, would show up and drag me out, and then and drag me out of my funk. But I didn't really have that here in Colorado, so not much of a mental health support group. In fact, I have about 4 friends here. One of them, she's a hot mess. She knows who she is. But I love her to death. She's got the biggest fucking heart of anybody I know in Colorado. And she's tried at times to help drag me out of my own funk. And she bitches when me and my girl don't come over and visit often enough. So it's really good. And I think the bitching is a good thing, mind you. That's not negativity. I think it's really good when your friends go, hey, bring your ass over for dinner. We ain't seen you in a while. That's a good friend. If you've got a friend that you think needs interaction with other people, and you've got the space for them, reach out, make them come over. Like, you know, aside from extreme introverts, and even those you can be hospitable to. I don't know the word. Hospitable, I think, is the word I want. You can be hospitable to by saying, yeah, you come over and have dinner with just us. And you could do the same thing for your extreme introvert people and have a nice quiet dinner with your introverted people, just like you can with your extroverted people by getting loud, playing games, having a few drinks. But I literally I've got about 4 people here. One of them's a wasteland friend. One of them's a goth friend. And then there's that couple, and that's the majority of the people that I have that actually reach out on a regular basis here, and give a shit. There's a lot of people in Colorado that were there before I got hurt the first time, before the motorcycle accident, that are still kind of lurking, but they never reach out, they never say anything. And now that I don't have like money or ability to help them out with things, I don't hear from them. It's kind of funny. And especially now that I actually can use financial and moral support since the stroke, I definitely don't hear from any of them, which is fine. Fair weather friends are still entertaining when they're around. So the fair weather friends, I'm not really hating on you. I did for a little while. I got angry for a little bit, and I made a couple of posts, and I'm sure those of you that saw it were like, oh shit, Skittles is mad. Yeah, I was mad. Rightfully so. I mean, if you're not a loyal friend, you don't get a loyal attitude. If you're a crappy friend, you get kind of a crappy attitude. Just kind of the way it goes. But there have been some loyal friends here, and it's been really awesome. My buddy Dave has been really helpful in helping me get this thing done, actually. Since the stroke, he's been throwing me some jobs that I can do for him that he doesn't have the time to do, for post-apocalyptic projects. And so I've got the joy of actually doing some post-apocalyptic. Well, I can't talk without my teeth. I can't say post-apocalyptic without my teeth. It's funny. Who would have thunk? One of those words. But yeah, he's thrown me quite a few projects of things that he's working too much to have time to do, that take time to do. And I've enjoyed doing them. And he's helped me get supplies to take care of this, which is lit up because somebody's really got some high beams on right now. You're in the city, folks. Why are you driving around with high beams? That's funny. But anyway, for all you people that have always been so good at dragging me out of my bullshit when I've been in it, on the East Coast, and been faithful and loyal friends, even when I was a complete jackass, which there's been a couple of times in my life where I was a complete jackass. And for all of you that never gave up on me, I love you all. No more being all blubbery again. Oh, goddamn. But, yeah, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have made it this far if it wasn't for some of my support group. And those of you that call me on a regular basis, like at least every other month from the East Coast, I get calls from people that I haven't seen in 4 or 5 years. Some people I didn't get to see before I left and moved out here for a year or two. Some of you I haven't seen and been able to give a hug for like 8 years. And y'all still stood by me. Y'all still reach out. I can't wait to get to Atlanta, see some of you, get back to North Carolina and see you guys. And, oh, man, I got one friend that I'm really looking forward to seeing in Chi-Town. I haven't, or near Chi-Town. I haven't seen her since, 90-something. And she's always been there in the background somewhere and reaches out every once in a while when I'm like looking bad and stupid and She's all like, "Hey, what's going on, fool? You getting in trouble again? I see you got girl problems again." Like, literally, like, we just been running since the 90s, and holy shit, back in the Red Rum days even. But anyway, shit, this is a 30-minute video. I'm sorry, guys. Anybody that watches this thing to the end, you get a lot of love from me. I'm rambling. I hope it's entertaining. Anybody that's made it this far, like, give me a thumbs up, because I don't believe most of you are going to make it this far, and I really don't blame you. I don't know that I would make it this far in a video. But anyway, thank you everybody for all the support, moral, and those that have helped financially and physically. Thank you all. It's been this whole thing, surviving the stroke has not been easy. Like, surviving the physical stroke when it happened was the easiest thing that's happened to me since it started. Like, yeah, it really, that was the easy part. Not dying was the easy part. Surviving all the bullshit that life has thrown at us since then. We were in the middle of a pandemic. My work was a hell of a lot harder to get hours than it ever had been before, because we basically worked doing erosion control stuff, and with all the shutdowns, all the permit offices and everything shut down. Well, if you're not going to get a permit, then you're not going to get inspected. If you're not going to get inspected, you're not going to need erosion control. If you can't break ground because you don't have permits, then you don't have to worry about erosion control until you break ground. So our hours were rough this last year. I got to spend 2 weeks in Sturgis when normally I'm arguing with my boss to get like 4 days. Because we're usually 10 times busier than we were this year. I literally had no work for 2 weeks, so I got to spend 2 weeks in Sturgis, and I got to meet some people up there that became instant family, that have also been supportive. So you guys rock, and I will see you guys soon. I'm going to start my first leg. I'm going to go up to Sturgis and see the chosen family that I made up there.